my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, his aunt was a realtor.
Okay.
And at a really prestigious company, and was like, hey, you're really a go-getter. I think you should really consider getting into real estate. And I was like, nah, I'm going to check out KeyBank and work in the bank world and see if I like that. And I'm a third-generation banker, but I made it a year, and that was it. It was like, it's a
You started as a teller? Or?
No, actually, I was a client relationship manager. So basically, I was doing all this paperwork stuff, reconciliation, not my forte.
What year was it?
Circa 2005 or 4 or something like that. Because then I got my license in 2006. A year later, I'm like, yep, you're right. I'm getting my license. And that's what I did. I think I was 23 or 24.
So basically your entire career, yeah.
Pretty much. Young pup, getting right in.
And so did you start under her wing, or?
Yeah, I helped her for a little bit, and then kind of propelled myself going.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Realized Gains podcast. We're on episode 35. My name is Jordan Lee. I'm your co-host, and I'm a lender licensed in about 9 states. And I'm based here in Portland, Oregon, and I invest in single-family homes.
Yep, and my name is Tran. I'm licensed in Oregon and soon to be Washington. I'm a multifamily investor and a short-term rental investor.
Yeah, so who did we interview today?
So we interviewed our good friend Lindsey Culver of Premier Property Group. Was it Culver Home Teams?
Yeah, and she actually has she's been a realtor basically her whole life.
Yeah, no, she tells us a great story of how she got started super early. She had I think it was her boyfriend, now husband's aunt, who was her mentor and kind of got her into the business early. And she kind of just gives us good insight on, what it takes to be a good agent.
Yeah, and talks a lot about trading up and figuring and building equity through housing. So yeah, if you're interested in being a good agent and just like learning how to build equity over time, I think this would be a great one for you to watch.
Hey guys, welcome to the Realized Gains podcast. I'm Stephen Tran.
And I'm your co-host, Jordan Lee, and we're very excited to have a special guest here today with us, Lindsey Culver.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Lindsey, just real quick, do you want to give us kind of your story, where you grew up, how you got into real estate, that kind of information?
Oh my goodness. Okay, this could be time consuming. No, I'm just
We have plenty of time. Go ahead.
Just kidding. I pretty much grew up in Beaverton. I went to Westview High School.
Fancy.
Little played all the sports, volleyball, basketball, softball. So pretty competitive, and worked at Starbucks throughout high school and college. And
nice.
Then at the time, my boyfriend.
Were you a saver?
Pardon?
Were you a saver? Did you save the money while you were working, or you spent it all on prom?
I saved my money.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
I'm
Good
a
for you.
saver. Yeah, I actually, my dad was hardcore about 401k and stock, so I had all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You started your 401k in high school?
At Starbucks?
No,
Yeah,
not till you're
right,
18.
right?
No,
Okay.
that was college.
Okay.
Yeah, good point though.
Wait,
Yeah.
College was at PSU?
What now?
Where was college at?
Well, I went to Portland State for 3 years, and then U of O finished up for my last year and a half, but I finished in 4 years. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Party school.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, what did you study? What was your major?
Psychology, which is fantastic for my
Perfect
field.
for real estate.
Yep, absolutely.
But did you get right into real estate, or did you?
No, actually, so when I was working through college at Starbucks, my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, his aunt was a realtor.
Okay.
And at a really prestigious company, and was like, hey, you're really a go-getter. I think you should really consider getting into real estate. And I was like, nah, I'm going to check out KeyBank and work in the bank world and see if I like that. And I'm a third-generation banker, but I made it a year, and that was it. And it was like, it's a
You started as a teller, or?
No, actually, I was a client relationship manager. So basically, I was doing all this paperwork stuff, reconciliation, not my forte.
What year was it?
Circa 2005 or 4 or something like that. Because then I got my license in 2006. A year later, I'm like, yep, you're right. I'm getting my license. And that's what I did. I think I was 23 or 24.
So basically your entire career, yeah.
Pretty much. Young pup, getting right in.
And so did you start under her wing, or?
Yeah, I helped her for a little bit, and then kind of propelled myself going as a solo agent, at the other company.
Which group was she with?
Remax Equity Group.
Okay, so you started with the Remax, and then when you went solo, where were you at?
Still at Remax.
Okay.
And then a group of us, or a couple of us, decided to go to Keller Williams, and that was kind of right around 2009 when they were really hitting it hard here in the Portland market, and just decided to go there, and it was great. The education was fantastic. Had a great relationship with a lot of people there. Met good people. Yeah, it was awesome.
And so, from a real estate perspective, it seems like you had some family influence in that area. How did you, had you previously thought of a realtor as a career, or was that when you're in high school or whatever? Because I never thought about that as a career field at all.
Well, with my psychology background, I find it very ironic. I think a lot of times as kids, we actually have inklings for our profession as a very young age, but we don't really realize it or identify it. And as a child, I was constantly riding my bike and looking at homes. And going in the neighborhood.
So you were interested in the way homes looked.
Absolutely,
and
the architecture. I'm like, ooh, curb appeal, but I didn't know that word then. And I just was enamored with houses, and it was really a big deal for me. So I look at it oh my gosh, it was already kind of building up and getting ready to, and eventually become a realtor.
So you go to the doctor's office as a kid, you would choose the real estate magazine over the Sports Illustrated?
I don't even remember reading any of the magazines. I think I was more into the fish, when they had the the fish aquarium thing, and I was always touching the, you're not supposed to do that, and hitting the glass. That was me.
We know you're the rebel type.
I am.
That's why we have White Claws in the middle of the day.
We do have White Claws.
So,
Delicious.
but you started at 24. How were you able to convert clients at that age? Because your friends and family, were your friends buying home at that age? Or?
No, they were not. Absolutely not. That's a great question.
'Cause what year was this? This was
2006 when I got my license.
And it came really rough pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah, right after that. But yeah, I just really leveraged the whole my sports background. You guys have seen me on the court. I'm a go-getter. I'm a hard worker. Even if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna get you the answer. And I think that was really, really big for people. She's trustworthy, and we know her, and so that kind of helped a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you used your network from teams and
from high school.
Team parents, that type of thing?
Mostly friends from high school that I kind of reached out. Now, we didn't have, we didn't have Instagram.
Right.
We didn't have a lot of those social networking things like everybody has now.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a little bit of what's the one?
MySpace?
Yes. I feel like MySpace
man.
was totally where I would hey, what's happening? You could change your music. Do you guys I know you all remember that.
Oh, so you were getting back in touch with people
This is
on
the first,
your high school friends,
Yes.
okay, through MySpace.
So this
Cool.
is the first real estate marketing on social media is MySpace.
Totally. I really feel like yes.
You
absolutely.
edit the HTML and do all the things.
I was a wannabe tech person.
Hold on, what was your homepage song when people came to your
I
page?
think it was Justin Timberlake. I'm not joking.
Yes.
It was a Justin Timberlake song. Because I was just thinking in my head, is he going to ask me what my song was? Do you remember that? And then sometimes it would take forever to load, and you're like, what's wrong with this page?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody picked up the phone.
Probably.
Yeah.
The dial-up.
Yes. Oh, that's great. So were you able to survive at that age as a realtor, and pay rent, or how did that work? Were you closing deals?
Great question. So my husband and I his aunt helped us buy our first house. That was in 2004. And
she knew the value.
She was in the business, and we literally were kind of we were renting, we were sort of on a whim, and she's like, this is a great time to buy, and I just cashed in some of my stock at Starbucks. Thank you for being responsible. And that was part of our down payment.
So working at Starbucks, you were buying into their...
I was buying into their stock in their 401k, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that helped leverage for me to be able to buy a house.
Let's talk about that. So you started buying stock. You were working at Starbucks for what, 4 or 5 years?
I think it was about 6.5 years when it was all said, from 17 to whatever the math is, 6.5, yeah.
Okay, and so you were regularly buying stock with the extra 50 or $100
whatever
you
I
had from
could.
your paycheck?
Yeah, whatever I could on the paycheck, I would.
You just max what you...
I could, yeah, and same with 401k.
And did your parents tell you to do
My
that?
dad did.
Okay, your dad
Yeah,
was
my dad-
you got to do that because it's free money, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember kind of grappling with that because you're a struggling, college kid or whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it.
Every dollar counts at that
Every
age.
dollar does
Yeah, it's
count.
like I'm putting this into a retirement account that I can't touch till
I mean, it's so hard
you know.
to teach, wealth at such a young age. I think, especially in the schools, they're not teaching that. So
Oh, no.
I was really, I was lucky. I was a lucky one that my dad was able to teach me that.
Yeah, no,
It's really lucky.
I was same way. I worked at Fred Meyer's all throughout college, and I got a Roth IRA when I was 18 or 19.
What?
And I was putting like $80 a
Sick.
month away, and I was just like, what am I doing? But I was seeing it grow, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I haven't put money into it for like 4 years, and I think it's like 70 or 80 grand.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it
You
does
should
grow
probably-
quick.
You should probably
You know?
keep putting money into that.
Yeah.
Well, I-
Or maybe he could like roll it over
Or
and
you
buy
know,
a house.
or buy real estate.
yeah,
like
let's
I've
buy
been
some
doing.
real estate with
Yeah.
that. Come on.
Yeah.
I
so
know a
can
good
do lot.
realtor.
Anyway, so yeah, most people don't think about working at Starbucks and like don't equate that with saving money for a down payment. They equate that with like, paying the rent. So just rough estimate, in those 5-6 years, you were able to save enough for a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
How much was that? What did that look like?
$8,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And that
Yeah.
was enough to put, what was it, like 5% down in the house, or?
I think we did FHA
or
3.5%.
3.5. Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. It was
Oh.
incredible.
And then your mortgage payment at the time?
Oh my
Do you
gosh, if
remember?
we could turn back time. So I know when we refinanced it was $1,400, I think it was $1,900.
Okay.
It was a 2,400 square foot house. If anybody knows where this is, it's right off of Bel Air in Beaverton. So
yeah.
in between Allen and Denny, that whole area right there. Bel Air. Our street was Cardinal Terrace, though.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you paid what was the price?
$230.
$230.
2,400 square feet. If I could turn back time and keep that baby, I would have.
And then yeah, because $230, that was right before the crash, and then
So that was the peak at that time.
Were you able to keep it?
I sold it for $330, and I thought
Oh,
those
you
people,
sold it before the crash.
Oh yeah, I bought
Okay.
another house. I thought those people were suckers. I'm like, haha, I'm like, I'm making money, $330, which is still a lot of money. Like,
Well,
but
you were what, 27 at the time when that happened?
let's see, I sold that. We bought in 2006. So yeah, 3 years later.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, so 3 years later, so you got to keep all the gains from that without paying tax.
That's right, because
Yeah.
we lived in it for over 2 years.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's a nice.
So that's a nice-
That's a large chunk of money
Yeah.
for a 27-year-old.
Right. So if anybody out there is a realtor listening, that's why we invest in RPAC, because we are protecting capital gains and all the, home ownership and protecting that. So it's important.
Okay, and then so you sold that, and did you immediately go buy another one, or what did you guys
Yes.
do?
Yep. So we bought in Tigard, Bull Mountain area, and Noah wanted bigger. So we bought like a 3,300 square foot house. Yeah.
It's just the two of you guys.
At this time, yes, but we were
You knew.
looking to plan. We were
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
to grow, have a family. Yep.
No,
Yeah.
I love the Bull Mountain area, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a great. You guys don't.
We still live in Bull Mountain, yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yeah, love Bull
And
Mountain.
when you bought, though, was it during the high price point?
Yes.
So you sold high, but you also had to buy high.
Correct.
that's
But it
kinda-
was a
that's kinda the
trade.
crux
I
of
mean, we
things,
were
right?
like, yeah, but we're getting another 1,100 square foot or 200 or 1,200, so it was worth it for us.
Can I
Totally.
ask? I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't obviously in real estate during the
Yeah.
time I was still in college.
Yeah.
Did you have any inkling of what was going to happen in the market?
I had
or-
no clue.
Did you?
And actually, to be really candid,
Did anyone in your office, was anyone saying anything?
not
about
at all.
Yeah.
It was just whispers of like nothing. Like, I mean, it was just a normal day. Like, it was just so weird. But I didn't realize, though, because I was still young in the business. I didn't read, like, back then we had a HUD.
Yep.
I didn't realize how much I was paying. Like, there was a lot of fees and stuff that,
Sure.
which attributed to why the market crashed.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that paid, but I didn't even realize how much I was paying in fees.
Oh, like you paid some extra points or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but hey, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and, it's all good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I don't know if because I kind of pay attention to a lot of my clients, like, funding and all this stuff, and I'm trying to double check because I try to be, since I tend to think that I think financially, intelligently for my clients, and if I were to look back at, some of those loans back then that are subprime and like, hey, here's free money, and you don't have to verify anything, I think I'd be pretty scared, so.
Yeah, well, and I think
It's not, though, when everyone's doing it.
Right.
It's just normal.
And it weighed in our favor, to be really candid, because Noah didn't have the best of credit. I had the great credit. I didn't make a lot of money.
But you got an FHA loan.
Right, but I think I did. See, that's the other thing. I think I did. I don't even know, to be honest. Because,
Anyway, yeah.
But realistically, that's right.
Right.
I'm a consumer, and sometimes consumers don't even realize it.
It doesn't matter, right? It's like what's your bottom line? What's your down payment? What's
Right.
your monthly payment? That's
And we made it work, right? So his bad credit, my good credit, my money that I saved, he didn't save anything. You know, it all worked out. Not hating.
And so then, what is your like real estate path been since then? Are you guys still? Have you been house hopping more? Or are you still in the same place?
Yeah, so then we house hopped a couple times, and now we've been at the same house for 6 years, which is nice. Of course, my kids want to move to Lake Oswego because my son goes to Lake Ridge, but
okay.
if anybody knows what the average sale price is in Lake Oswego, it's pretty unattainable right now. So we're sticking in Bull Mountain, and it's great. It's a corner lot. We're happy. So.
And did you hold on to any of the homes?
We didn't. No.
Okay. Just kept
Yeah.
trading it.
Did you have to sell that first Bull Mountain house at a loss?
We did. Yeah. So
Okay.
so that's the problem.
So what year was that you sold?
That one was 2000. Wait, hold on. Ended up being 2014.
2000.
So
and it was still down. It was still down from when you bought in 2000.
Oh yeah. So then
Interesting.
as the market, my business struggled.
Yep.
And Noah was a contractor, and his business kind of struggled.
Oh,
so
you guys
like
were
a lot
kind
of people,
double exposed,
we ended
yeah.
up losing that house, which was hard. We put a lot of time and effort, and I think it's humbling to have these conversations because I'm not the only person. I know many other realtors that lost their house. And so it's like, okay, we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and we do it again, and we start over, and we learn from our mistakes, and that's how it is.
And what was the process that you guys had to go through for that?
It's just a normal short sale
You
process.
did a short sale.
Yeah,
okay.
we just did a short sale, and luckily I was already on a team where I was kind of understanding the process, and unfortunately, whatever you want to look at it, I am a short sale negotiating expert. I understand the process.
Yep.
We did tons of short sales during that time, so.
Yeah, I would say the best experience is experiencing it yourself.
Absolutely.
That's why I help investment clients, because I invest.
Well,
Same
and I
thing,
think too, like you find it, I'm an emotional person anyway, so I understand when those people are going through it. Just like sometimes our first time home buyers, right? It's a could be a catastrophic experience, or they're just like a fish out of water. They don't know. So having somebody who's understanding and knowledgeable, walking them through that is really important. Yeah.
And so then, what did you guys do afterwards to like change? Is Noah still?
So then at that time,
Contracting, or?
no, he stopped doing the contracting, and then in 2000, got licensed in 2015 and became a realtor with me.
Okay.
So that next year, just was like, let's do this together and we'll work together.
Okay.
That's kind of
so
what
you guys
we
just
did.
doubled down.
Pretty much, yeah. We're like, let's just do this.
There was no transition period. You just kind of went straight for it.
He took his license and got it in 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Anybody out there, literally that's pushing buttons, and he's a smart guy, so you guys all know it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of this business is on the boots, on the pounding the pavement and doing things in person versus in a book.
Yeah,
So,
no, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember anything from the test, and I took it last week. So.
that's right. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're a big deal now in Vancouver, huh?
Well, I don't even have my
Washington?
license yet, but
Well, you passed the test.
I did pass the test.
So that means in theory you have your license or no?
I have to get my fingerprints and do all this stuff.
Oh, well,
Still
that
some
could be a
compliance,
problem
yeah.
then. We might have a problem.
It's not a problem. How bad do you think my background
I'm kidding. That's a joke.
is?
So and how are you guys managing working together as a team and raising kids? How does that all play together? Because I know for some people working with a spouse can be a challenge, but
Yeah.
for some people they really like it.
Yeah. I think it's hard because Noah and I see the world from a different lens. And so I've had to learn how to kind of massage some of my conversations. He's also the negotiator, which he loves to negotiate. So that's kind of his strong suit.
So you guys are a complete team.
We are a complete team, and we both have our strengths and kind of our weaknesses, and I think that's why we gel so well in that regard, right? He's the negotiator. I'm the people person. I'm kind of out making
You bring in the
relationships.
business.
So
Yeah.
you guys basically share all individual transactions?
Yeah, we're a team, so
Right.
Oh, okay.
everything's
So every
written.
client is a shared client.
Correct. But then 2.5 years ago, we brought on Portia, who's a buyer's agent / listing specialist. And so she kind of helps, in certain areas, depending on, if it's her lead or our lead or whatever. And then we have a transaction coordinator.
Okay.
And with that transaction coordinator has helped immensely because now I don't have to go, no, I need this and this and this and this. And I think that's where the contention
Right.
in sometimes partner relationships in real estate is because you're constantly asking them
you
for
need the
stuff.
garbage too while you're at
Right,
it?
yeah,
Like-
exactly. And they're just
Put
like,
the kids to bed?
it's always work, even
Yeah.
when you get home. And now
Yeah.
I don't have to ask for paperwork. Deanna gets the paperwork.
Right.
And so that's really nice.
And the schedule, are you guys able to like kind of split the schedule a little bit for getting
Yeah.
the kids to school, picking them up?
That's
or-
all Noah. Noah loves the kids piece. That's his, he's always done a really good job. Like 3:00 is when I pick up the kids, or now it's shifted because one's in high school and one's
Yeah.
at St. Anthony. But it's like, that's his non-negotiable time. Every so often he'll break it. But yeah, that's something that's really important to him. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's really nice.
So, I mean, it sounds like you guys have always kind of been in this self-employed mode with him being a
For the most-
contractor and this realtor. Like, have you guys always felt secure in that? I mean, it sounds like you haven't. And you've had some troubles because usually I see a lot of couples where somebody has a W-2, that income is stable, and then that other person can take the risk and build the business. But you guys are both going at it.
Yeah.
And in the contractor and realtor world, and
Yeah.
then both as realtors. So can you kind of get into that dynamic a little bit? And
Well, that's always fun if anybody knows the 1099 world. I think I just am so I was I was talking to my therapist about this. Like, if I made $1 million, would I still be happy? Right? Like, if my gross was $1 million, and I wouldn't be. I'd always be just constantly worried. And that's just who I am. I think that I've come to that realization that I as my genetic disposition, I am like a caretaker, and I want to make sure everything's safe and sound.
Right.
And so that's always been something that I've struggled with. I will always struggle with it. I tried to fix that a little bit doing an S corp 2 years ago, which was fantastic.
Right.
You pay yourself
Yep.
like a salary every month. There's some other perks about like paying your kids.
Yeah, you can also usually your tax liability is a little
Yeah,
less
there's
overall.
some pros, and that's been kind of helpful, and some discipline, because over time, I mean, let's be honest, like, yeah, I want this shiny object, or I want this, and you buy
Yeah.
it, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I just spent 20 grand this month. Like,
Yeah, I mean, an S corp is a great way to force yourself to budget. I feel
yeah,
like.
I think it's fantastic. I've had other agents, like in our office, Jeff Wyron, he has an LLC. He just pays himself a salary, and he just pulls it out of the actual checking account, So there's different ways to manage your money, but I will say that is one area of opportunity that I think realtors really struggle with, and it really is just a financial literacy piece that we need to fix.
I was gonna say, because I used to be W-2, had all my taxes taken out without me thinking
Right.
about it, and then I went full-time realtor last May,
Yeah.
and I had the biggest tax bill I've ever seen. I kind of prepared for it, but I didn't. I think I'm financially literate, and last year I got a $9,000 return. This year I had to pay like a lot,
A lot of
like
money, yeah.
significantly a lot, because I just every check that comes in, you don't really think, oh, I
Right.
gotta take some money out and save it. I mean, I did, but it definitely it hurts a lot more when it's visible to you.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I feel
Yeah,
like
and that's true with an S corp too. You're going to be paying more regularly. Typically, you pay
Right.
monthly or quarterly.
Yeah. It's
so
just
it kinda
it's
takes
just
the
something.
sting off the end of the year as well.
Yeah, it's just something I think that we can, as realtors, could really keep taking more classes, really hammer that to so a lot of my agents, I'm a mentor here
yeah.
at our company, and I really try and strive, like, you need to have a business account and you need to have a personal account. You don't have to do the S corp, and you shouldn't right away anyways. You got to make a certain amount of money, but they need to be able to pay themselves and keep a business account and business savings account for their taxes. And
Yes.
I really try and help them understand that.
And kind of keep track of all their business expenses that they can
100%.
write off, and yeah.
That's another area of opportunity I'm really hardcore about, because so many people leave money on the table, like open houses, for example. That's 100% write off. Talk to your tax accountant first, whatever. But I'm just saying,
I'm not an accountant.
I'm not an
It's a
accountant.
pretty clear
disclosure.
business marketing expense, right?
It is, though, and it's because it's publicly facing. It's 100%
Yeah.
advertising. So there's just ways that people leave money on the table, and it's unfortunate. And want people to not leave money on the table.
Part of the curse and the advantage in being a realtor is that you have that opportunity to save on taxes, but you have to do the work. It's not just like given to you.
Right.
What's that show? It's a write-off. Well,
Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
what is a
well,
write?
that-
Oh,
it's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
Yeah, but it's still money. Like, that's funny.
Yeah. And office-wise, it sounds like you do some mentorship here. And I know that you're very involved with Women's Council as well, and Oregon Association of Realtors, as well as PMAR. ARIA. What kind of value do you see in organizations that sort of build leadership? How have you put that into your business for other, I guess, realtors and folks that are kind of interested in that nonprofit world?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think for one, especially when you're a new agent, you're just a fish out of water. You're just drinking from a fire hose. And I think when you have those relationships, whether it be ARIA or Young Professional Network or Women's Council, they're like family, right?
Yeah.
And the point is that they're going to kind of take you under their wing, and also build those leadership roles, like just becoming part of the board, or maybe you check in people at the front door, whatever it is. With those leadership roles, then enhance your own personal business, and then you're more confident, like when you're going on listing presentations or maybe doing videos on social media, and you're really nervous, but now you've done like tons of face-to-face meetings with people, and you're not nervous anymore. So. Yeah.
So it helps build confidence.
Absolutely.
I think you also mentioned this morning that you got a call from someone across the country that you met at a conference or something like that.
Yeah, well, I didn't meet them. They got my name and number, I think, from a Women's Council of Realtor or CRS member in Colorado. I think it's Kate Kelly. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, like a friend of a friend.
Well, she's a realtor within Women's Council, and
Okay.
so that's the power of also networking across the nation, is that you're building these relationships, and people see how you operate, right? Like, I look at it, I really want to do a class on building your tribe.
Yeah.
And so when you build your tribe across the country, you can feel 100% confident that you're, like, for example, Kate Kelly, hands down, I'm sending people to Denver, Colorado to Kate Kelly, right? Like, I know she's fantastic. Right. I know she's going to take care of them. There's certain people, Liz Smith in St. Louis, like, I know 100%, I don't have to worry. I know that client's going to get taken care of. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that. When you build those relationships, then, it's fantastic.
Would you say you have is referrals a big part of your business?
They're not a huge part. I would say they're a supplement, right? Like, I probably do maybe 4 deals a year with it, so it's pretty minor.
Referrals from out of state, you're saying?
Yeah, out of state, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's still...
Yeah, I think it's
4
a decent...
deals is
totally
more than covers whatever expenses you
well,
put into it.
I think sometimes people have come from the mindset of, like, if I do this, like, what do I get? And we were just having this conversation with a new mentor or mentee in the office here, and it's not about that. It's about building these relationships, and it will come to you. But if you're constantly got the drunk monkey, or you're super greedy, like, it's not going to happen.
Well, and you can't put a price on connecting with local professionals that are willing to spend time with you and help you develop, because it's really hard to learn how to do real estate. I mean, at least for me, like, it's like, you're going to learn it from a book? You're going to learn it from a YouTube video? Yeah. No, you're going to learn it from someone that knows what they're doing.
Right.
And that's how you make friends, is through those types of work. One of the best ways to make friends is through those types of organizations, I think.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'll also say that sometimes, you got to put yourself in position for luck. And, when we're networking, we're always putting ourselves in positions for luck. Maybe we'll hear something that will change our lives. And that's how I think about it, like that's why I go to these major events and go to classes and, hear from the top producers across the U.S. and see, what they're doing to expand their business. And it's definitely changed how I operate my business here. Mm-hmm. So
I would agree.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the right place. There's a saying, I think it's something like, be at the right place at the right time, and the luck will happen, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, put yourself in constantly put yourself in positions for luck.
Yeah.
Because people are saying, "Oh, you're so lucky." It's like, well, I'm always there. I'm always available. I'm always there to maybe hear the right thing or meet the right person. And especially in Portland, I go to a lot of networking events here, and I see you all the time. It's a small world, And you never know if that's like the one listing agent that you met at this event that might, that might grease the
Right.
wheels for a deal.
Right. It does happen. And actually, that's the other thing too. I think there's a misconception like, why are you networking with a group of realtors? And I kind of want to dismantle that right now because like it actually happened the other day where an agent had kind of a sticky situation with a seller and he was like, hey, I think Lindsay would be a great fit because she's Women's Council of Realtors and I think she would jive better with this seller. And so, we're in the same market.
Yeah.
And so it's like it can happen and I think people have to realize like sometimes they're not a good fit, but this person is a good fit. So you can network with a bunch of realtors because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, and especially in ARIA, like we get referrals all the time in our market. It's just like, oh, they don't speak our language. Can you take this on?
Yep. Yep.
Steven. I mean, not me. I'm not good at Vietnamese, but Alex or whatever. But it's we pass off deals to people that we know can handle it, and we'll take a referral fee. But we work with the people we trust and like.
Absolutely.
So I think
And
it's
you never
important.
know who's gonna help you when you need help. Like you need some sort of very specific contractor referral, right? Like you gotta find someone in your network that has it, right?
Well, and that actually, another thing, the other day, I was maybe going to get a listing in Northwest Portland, and I'm not hardcore on all of the different condos. I think there's like 35 of them, right? And I immediately thought of past president, Women's Council, Marissa Sines. She sells a ton in the Pearl.
Yeah.
And she immediately texted me back and was like, oh, yeah, this is going on, this is going on. She didn't have to do that.
Right.
But why did she do that? Because we're a family. We've got a relationship. Like, we are here to help each other build and grow. There's plenty of pie. We don't need to be selfish. We can
Yeah.
all help each other grow.
No, exactly. I totally agree. I mean, our job is to be a fiduciary, and we're not. We have to give our clients the best option, and
Absolutely.
and if somebody else is a better option, then hey, we'll connect them with that. You know, I think that's really important in our business, which I don't tend to see a lot of. Well, I see a lot of it. Obviously, I think I have the right group, but there's a lot of people who definitely do not follow that creed of being a fiduciary.
Right. And that's a selfish mindset, right? And so
Yeah.
we hope that we can help people understand that that's a very limiting belief and it's not going to go far in life.
Yeah.
Right? And so surround yourself with like-minded people. That's why I'm here today with you guys.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's a hard business. I mean, like I said, I am lucky. Like I got to come from being a software engineer into coming into this career, and have properties that give me the financial stability to be a full fiduciary to my clients. I feel like a lot of people who drop everything and this is their only source of income, like they have to make it. And like when you have to make that deal to eat, like it's really difficult. So I don't know. What do you tell those people, those struggling agents? Like
Yeah.
what do they need to do to succeed in this career?
Yeah, that's a great. So basically, when you have, I call it commission breath, right? And so I think when people are and I understand that, trust me, because I had been there, when you're struggling and you don't have any business. But when, again, it's that selfish mindset of if you're not doing your fiduciary duty, helping your client to the best ability to purchase a home and help make a good decision, I think it will come back and bite you, whether it be liability issues. It ends up just always going south. And so my big thing is like they need to make sure they're coming from contribution, that they're really focusing on the client's well-being and if it's the right decision. I mean, Portia and I just actually had a deal last month. The day before closing, went south, and we had been working with new construction for 4 months, and we basically had to seek legal counsel and all this stuff. And we were we were told, I cannot believe from the legal counsel that you guys didn't have your clients close this transaction. You don't know how many agents, realtors, would have just advised their clients to close so they can get paid. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I want to sleep for one, and I don't want to have that reputation.
Yeah.
And so I want my clients to make sure, because I was worried and we were concerned that the repairs were not probably going to get done. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And there was an egregious amount of repairs that were not going to get done.
For new construction?
For new construction. It was terrible. And so I think I can sleep at night. I know I did the right thing. Portia did the right thing. And that's what I try and teach all of the mentees and people that I know that come to our office. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. If you get them into that house with all these issues, who are they going to blame? They're going to blame you. Are they going to give you
100%.
referrals? Are they going to give you more business?
No,
Probably
they're
not.
going to land base me all over social media. It's not worth whatever the commission I was going to get, plus my integrity.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a multitude of things, and I live my life Hence the golden rule. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
wanna do.
ultimately, that's the value that you're supposed to bring, right? You're not supposed to be just opening a door and finding someone a house, so to speak. You're supposed to be, representing their interests, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Longer term, you guys have set up your firm here. You guys are rolling pretty well. You've got your team. What does that look like in the next 5-10 years? Kids get older. What is your longer term plans?
Great question. I really love coaching. I love teaching people. I love the opportunity to help. Like, that's why I love time home buyers, because I get to set them on the right path from the get-go. And I think if there's a way somehow where I can still coach and maybe teach classes, like I talked about, building your tribe. I'm trying to teach a class with CRS about that, where it's like, hey, you can have referrals across the nation of building your real estate tribe and building that team, if you will. So then you could maybe create passive income.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people. Carrie Hartnett actually is one of the major people that's with Women's Council who does probably half her business, if not more, on referrals across the country.
Wow. Okay.
It's incredible, and that's really what she's done, is just really built her real estate tribe. So that's what I would like to do long term. I think is teach, continue to coach new agents, and just really work with I really like the first time home buyers. I know that's like a lot of work.
It's probably your psychology background.
Probably, you know, and also I really want to create hopefully generational wealth and help people like build their nest egg for the future. I think it's unfortunate that people are not looking long term, including myself. I mean, if I really had somebody that said, Lindsey, you have got to figure out to keep this house. Like, how can you keep this house? Like, this house is $230,000. I mean, nobody has a crystal ball, but
Yeah.
like that house now today is worth $620.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and then we're gonna have this conversation in 15 years, and that same exact house is probably gonna be
if
over $1
someone
million.
would have showed you to get a home equity on a credit or whatever and use that as a down
Right.
payment for the next house, then who knows? Maybe you would have done it, maybe not. A lot of people I show to do that are like,
Right.
screw that, I don't want to do that. But
Right? I think it's really trying to help people understand that, yes, you can do this. You can, rent out this house, and you can still live in this new house, and you can make it happen. You might have some small sacrifices.
Right.
Maybe you can't go to 10 concerts.
Right,
Maybe
yeah.
you go to 5
you
concerts
might have
a year.
to lose a few $100s in your budget.
Maybe no Starbucks every day.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that.
Maybe no White Claws.
Definitely,
I don't know.
definitely no avocado toast.
That already, to me, it blows my mind that would cost $8. I'm sorry. Like,
$8. It's 15 now.
Oh,
Yeah,
like
come
it's
on.
just some avocado on a toast. I'm sorry.
Well,
I
you gotta
know there's a
sprinkle
lot of
the
avocados.
salt
Lovers.
on it,
Well,
I'm
avocados
sorry.
are $1 each, so
Right.
I mean,
Maybe we start like doing avocado like stuff at open houses and stuff, and then we could just
Oh, yeah.
serve
We
it.
get all the millennials. Oh, not the millennials.
The millennials, or no?
Gen Z. I don't know who eats avocado toast anymore.
I think it's
I had it for breakfast.
oh, so
Well, you did it at home.
Yeah. Well, I also made the bread, so
right.
$15 avocado toast for,
Awesome.
for 50 cents.
Woohoo! Love that.
Okay, so for first-time home buyers, you work with a lot of them. What are some things that you would suggest if you're thinking about buying a home with the longer mindset of eventually, creating a small real estate portfolio, maybe 1, 2, 3 homes type thing?
I think like, are you talking about just how I get them ready to go, or like?
Yeah, like if someone's came to you and was like, "Hey, Lindsey, I want to buy a home. Here's my longer term plan." Like, what?
Gotcha.
I'm not really sure. Let's say they have a fairly flexible budget,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
What are some things that you recommend?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's kind of really, there's what you're approved for one, and
Yep.
what you're comfortable with. And I
Yep.
think that right there already is a complete, like, not epic fail on the world of consumers, but I think people are like, oh, well, I'm pre-approved for 800,000 and I'm going to buy 800,000. But really, like, they don't realize, oh, but that means I'm eating top ramen.
You're not eating anything.
Right. Actually, you might need to pick up like 4 jobs to like really supplement that. So I think I really hit home, like, I want to know what you're comfortable with. And I
yes.
ask them those questions. So yes, you may be pre-approved for this amount, but what are you truly comfortable with? And then it's just asking like a plethora of questions. And I mean, like, it's like a therapist. I really consider myself in the first time home buyer situation is just literally drilling it down, because I think sometimes too people don't actually know what they want either.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to like figure it out, or they think they know what they want, But really, they end up circling back to like, oh shoot, that's really what I wanted. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to live, in Southeast. Oh, well, actually, all the amenities and everything I really wanted, and my family's in Beaverton. Nah, I really want Beaverton.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking all these questions and sitting down with them. And frankly, I want them to ask me questions. Like, that's my job. And so I think if you're an agent and you get annoyed with that, that's a problem, because this isn't a latte or a mocha, folks. Like, this is a big deal. Like, you can't just return a latte. I mean, you could return a latte and be like, yeah, you got me a mocha instead of a latte. Like, you can't really return a house. Like, you're in it. Like, I mean, you could try and turn around and sell it, but it's going to be, you're going to have commissions and, costs of doing business and all the things and blah. Yeah, it's not something I take lightly. I know it's not my money, but it's still like part of who I am, and it's my integrity. So I really try and make sure that people understand, like, this is a big deal, and like, do you really like this house? The other thing I want to hit home about is when they're looking at a house, I like to look. I am not a home inspector. I've been doing this a long time, but I like to look at the integrity of the house.
Yeah.
And so I'm constantly like, okay, how's the roof?
Yeah,
How's
the
the
big
siding?
ticket things.
Big ticketed
Yeah.
items. Again, I always say the disclaimer. Not a home inspector, been doing it a long time, but here's what I'm feeling, or here's what I'm seeing. Like the floors are a little uneven. I just want them to understand financially what they could be potentially getting into.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them doing a bunch of home inspections that cost $400 to $600. Like, to me, that's a lot of money. Okay, that's like a car payment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking that seriously, like when we're having the consultations together.
Yeah, no, totally. Like I said, I totally agree with like the whole point about getting the pre-approval, and even that number. Like, I've had a lot of clients tell me, I'm pre-approved to this. I was like, okay, well, I can remember my pre-approval, and I remember my lender, when I was a software engineer, told me I could be approved up to $1 million.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, well, what are my payments? And he was like, oh, it's like $6,500. And I was like, that's my entire monthly salary.
You're like, I'm out.
How do I eat? How do I drive? How do I do this? So like that pre-approval number, yes, it's great you're approved for, a great number or whatever. And this was when interest rates were low, but it's like, you gotta really think about the rest of your budget, So, and I was naive back then. I wasn't a realtor. I literally was just like, I can't afford this, dude,
Yeah.
So I went significantly lower, and, it ended up working out. And so I take that experience with me, like I said, I think we all go through our past experience to help our clients. Like you said, you're a short sell expert because you short sold your house. So for me, I'm the pre-approval expert because I'm pre-approved to this, can't fucking afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So, mind my language. So, it's the White Claw.
It's the White Claw.
Yeah. So, no, appreciate that.
And do you have any other thoughts on buying your first home? If you're going to convert it to a rental, is there something else that you're looking for?
Well, I mean, again, we have those conversations of, is it a short term? Are you here for a short term? Do you plan long term? I mean, nobody has the crystal ball, right? Like, again, I think it's just going back to, it sounds stupid, but like playing Monopoly, right? And like, how are we going to build your nest egg? How are you thinking long term, 30 years down the road? Some people don't even know what they're going to do tomorrow, but but realistically, like, those questions are important. And I'm probably the worst realtor in the sense that, like, I have told all my past clients, like, I really want them, because especially if they bought in the last 3, whatever years, last 5, 6 years even, they have all this equity, right? And I don't want, they could rent it out, pay, like, it's going to be less than their mortgage of what they owe on the house, and then buy a new house. And so I'm like, just hold on to it. Like, don't do it. And that, again, I say worst realtor because, like, I obviously am like, I would love to sell the house, but in good faith, I've got to, like, give them that option, because, like, that's amazing. They could literally keep that, build their nest egg, rent it out, go get a new house, and kind of do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's my fiduciary duty, to be a good realtor and give them that opportunity.
Yeah, and now you have 2 properties building equity.
Absolutely.
And potentially cash flowing, one of them at least.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that what you do?
Yeah, of course, I've done that.
Yeah, like a bunch of times.
I mean, like I said, I'm lucky. Like I was an investor first, and so when I got into being an agent, I decided I'm gonna be a full fiduciary.
Yeah.
If this is the best decision for my clients, I'm gonna go that direction. even if it makes me less money. Like I've talked my clients out of houses that they wanted to buy, and because I was like, we're gonna find something better. Like this house is full of plaster and full of all this other stuff that you don't want to deal with. It's a 1940s home.
Right.
It might have galvanized plumbing, all this stuff. And they loved the home. And I was like, look, there's a reason why it's been sitting on the market for so long. Let's see if we can find something better.
Right.
And, I'm willing to be patient with my clients. And, when you do that, like I said, you're building lifelong fans of your business.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
I saved them $100,000 for a house that was much nicer
Right.
in a better neighborhood.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, sometimes pricing is all over the place in terms of
Right.
real estate.
Right. And we can't steer clients legally, and that's absolutely true. And,
Yeah.
and I follow all of the code of ethics and everything like that.
Mhm.
But what I appreciate what you're saying is like it's having them understand, like, do you realize it's galvanized plumbing, or do you understand like these potential expenses?
Yeah.
Like that's my job. That is why you hire me.
Mhm.
Like granted, the seller is paying my commission, but that is why you have a buyer's agent. A buyer's agent is so important. I think now more than ever, we need to stress that to our consumers, because that is why we're here. We are here to advise them and help them understand like the process, because I think it's like 168 different activities from beginning to end, and it's probably more than that, and I'm underestimating, but all the different things that are involved when you purchase a home from the beginning to the end. It's just so much.
There's a lot. Yeah.
10,
Happens fast too.
right?
Oh, yeah. Within the 30 days.
Yeah, 30,
Yeah.
40 days, just kind of depends. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was good.
No,
Anything
that was
else?
great. Yeah, no, I mean, well, if people are looking to get a hold of you,
If they want to join your team,
they want to join
Yeah,
your
if they
team,
wanna
if they
reach
want
out
to
to
buy a
you.
house from you, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah. Well, I would love them to follow me on Instagram. My handle is, I don't even know if handle's the proper terminology.
handle.
My
It's the handle.
daughter
That's
daughter
right.
said that's nerdy, so I don't know if I'm supposed to say
What
it.
is the young people?
I don't.
What do the young people
they
call
just
it?
say follow me. Okay, so follow me at Portland, Oregon Homes, and that's on Instagram. And then I think Facebook is like at Culver Home Team. This little at symbol, whatever the handle. Okay, see, this is where I'm aging myself right now. It's great.
How
though.
is handle the wrong term?
I don't know. I got made fun of like the other day.
Follow
when I
me
said
at
that.
this. I was like, is that
Follow.
TikTok? Is this Facebook? Is this whatever? Is this on Twitter?
Yeah,
Like,
I've
follow
got a
me on
couple
what?
different handles, but
Yeah,
needless to say, or you guys, you'll get all my information there. I'd love the
Yeah.
opportunity to just chat with you and talk about real estate, or joining my team, or even if you're interested in real estate. Like I just love meeting with people and talking about real estate and how I can help them literally have a job where there's no ceiling. They can make unlimited income. Like that's incredible. There's not very many jobs in this world that you have unlimited income potential.
No, I totally agree. That's why I switched from
Right.
a high-paying job to do this.
There you go. Amen. Well, thanks, guys. This
thanks,
was
Lindsay.
fantastic.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank you.